All right, let's get right into it. The entire world of cryptocurrency, everything, is built on a foundation of math that's supposed to be unbreakable. But what happens when a totally new kind of computer comes along that can just shatter that foundation? Well, we're talking about the quantum thread, and it's coming.
Right now, as we speak, there's over $2 trillion worth of digital assets, all secured by our current cryptography. It's a mind-boggling amount of money, all protected by digital locks we've been told are rock solid.
But here's the thing. What if all that security has an expiration date? Because according to some really groundbreaking new research, that date might be a whole lot closer than anybody is comfortable with. The quantum countdown? Well, it's already started.
So here's what we're going to break down. We'll start with the quantum countdown itself. Then we'll look at this brand new threat and exactly how a quantum thief could pull off a heist on a blockchain. We'll see how Bitcoin and Ethereum are uniquely vulnerable, cover the frantic race to upgrade our defenses, and finally, we'll talk about the billions in crypto that, honestly, just can't be saved.
Okay, so here's the absolute heart of the issue. Pretty much all cryptocurrency security, we're talking everything from Bitcoin to the newest altcoin, it all hangs by a single thread. It's all based on one single, really hard math problem.
That problem has a mouthful of a name, the elliptic curve discrete logarithm problem, or ECDLP. But don't worry about the name. The easiest way to get it is to think about your bank account. Your public crypto address, that's like your account number. You can give it to anyone, but your private key, that's your PIN. The ECDLP is the mathematical wall that makes it impossible for any normal computer to figure out your PIN just by knowing your account number. The problem? Quantum computers are about to kick that wall down.
And this is where things get really interesting. This new research, from a team with folks from Google, the Ethereum Foundation, and Stanford, has found a much more efficient way to solve that ECDLP puzzle. How efficient? Well, they estimate that a future quantum computer could crack a key in as little as 9 minutes. And look, this isn't just some dry academic paper. It's a massive wake-up call. The researchers themselves are basically saying that their own field has been kind of disconnected from the real-world damage their work could cause. They are ringing the alarm bell loud and clear for a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Because of that, they're being super careful with this discovery. They are not publishing the exact recipe for the attack, to avoid just handing a blueprint to the bad guys. Instead, they use this really clever crypto trick to prove their method works without showing how it works. It's kind of like proving you know a secret without actually telling anyone what the secret is.
So let's play this out. If a criminal or a rogue state got their hands on this kind of quantum power, how would they actually steal crypto? Well, it pretty much boils down to two main attack scenarios.
The first one is what we'll call the at-rest attack. Think of it like a safecracker, slowly, patiently, and quietly, targeting funds that are just sitting in wallets where the public keys are already out in the open. The second one, that's the on-spend attack. This is pure highway robbery, a frantic, high-speed race to snatch funds in the middle of a live transaction.
Let's break down that highway robbery step by step. So the second you hit send on a crypto transaction, your public key pops up in this public waiting room called the mempool. A quantum attacker's computer would be watching, and it would instantly grab that key. In just a few minutes, boom, it figures out your private PIN. Then they forge a brand new transaction, sending your money to their wallet. And for the final trick, they just offer a higher fee to the network to cut in line, making sure their theft gets approved before your real transaction even has a chance.
Now, a real quick myth bust here. You've probably heard that quantum computers are going to break Bitcoin mining. The researchers are really clear on this. That's not a credible threat. The speed up a quantum computer offers just isn't big enough to make a dent against today's super specialized mining machines. The real danger isn't to the mining, it's to the keys that actually control the coins.
Okay, so it's super important to note that this threat doesn't hit everything the same way. The two biggest players, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're built differently, and that means they face very different kinds of danger. For Bitcoin, a huge chunk of the risk comes from something called address reuse. Basically, old addresses that are still holding money. Just look at this chart. The top 100,000 vulnerable addresses alone, these are prime targets for that safecracker attack. They hold almost 6.7 million Bitcoin. We're talking about many of the first coins ever mined just sitting there, totally exposed. Ethereum's problem is, well, it's more baked into the system. The way its accounts are designed, once you make a single transaction from your wallet, your public key is exposed forever. As you see on the left, that puts over 20 million ETH at risk. But it gets worse. On the right, you see that billions more in assets are vulnerable because the admin keys that control these really powerful smart contracts are also exposed. It's a massive single point of failure for entire crypto projects.
Okay, so that's the scary part. The good news is this is actually a solvable problem. But, and it's a huge but, it's going to take a massive, globally coordinated effort to upgrade the entire system to a new security standard. That new standard is called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. Basically, it's a whole new family of math puzzles that we believe are tough for both regular computers and quantum computers to solve. This is the ultimate shield against the quantum threat.
But switching over the whole crypto world is an unbelievable challenge. The best analogy is trying to upgrade a plane's engines while it's in the middle of a flight. First, you need insane coordination in a system that's designed to be decentralized. Second, these new defenses use more data and processing power, so they're more expensive. And most importantly, you need everyone to agree. If a big chunk of the community says no, you risk what's called a hard fork, a nasty split that can literally break the currency in two.
But this is where the story takes a really dramatic turn. Even if the crypto world pulls off this miracle upgrade to PQC, there's a giant pile of money that's permanently stuck. It's a fortune that simply cannot be saved.
We're talking about at least 1.7 million Bitcoin, many of them from the earliest days of crypto, maybe even from Satoshi himself. They're locked in these old-style addresses where the public keys are just sitting out there on the blockchain for everyone to see. The owners probably lost the private keys ages ago. These coins can't be moved to a new, safe address. They're just sitting ducks.
And this leads to this wild and pretty controversial new idea called digital salvage. The researchers are actually proposing we create a legal system, kind of like maritime law for finding sunken treasure, to regulate how we recover these vulnerable assets once quantum computers are a reality. It's a wild attempt to prevent a total free-for-all when those wallets crack open.
And that leaves us with this final, massive question. The quantum countdown isn't just a tech problem, right? It's a huge economic and ethical dilemma. When these digital vaults are finally pried open by a quantum computer, what happens? Will it be some kind of orderly, regulated recovery? Or will it just be the biggest, wildest heist in human history? Who gets to claim the treasure?